Hello and thank you for watching KHOU 11 Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast of what to expect as we head into our weekend. And we are expecting a roller coaster of weather conditions as we are going to see some widespread storms, all thanks to an approaching cold front. We could also start seeing those storms as early as Friday in terms of isolated downpours, but then cooling down for Halloween. So it's going to be one of two fronts. So our first one arriving this weekend, our next one arriving by Tuesday of next week. That eventually is going to take those low temperatures down into the 50s, especially as we head into Halloween. So that's going to bring us some fall-like conditions that we've been waiting for the past couple of weeks. So as we look at our weekend forecast, do you have those outdoor plans? You might want to check with those organizers if you are heading to any events across town heading into Saturday. It's the reason why the KHOU 11 weather team has issued a weather impact alert day for Saturday, as we could see widespread showers and storms linger through the afternoon and evening hours. So a pretty stormy outlook, especially for Saturday. Lingering showers also in the picture for Sunday. But as we look at the Saturday's weather impacts, it's very well likely that we could see strong to severe storms as this cold front moves through, and that's going to lead to possible street flooding. We're going to give a medium risk for street flooding. Also, wind damage not out of the question. Some of these storms could bring some gusty winds with it. Our weather models have been showing that these storms are going to bow out, and when we see more of a bow echo formation of the storms, that's indicating some strong winds with it. So you might want to secure those Halloween decorations or those fall decorations across your yard heading just before the weekend. And we also cannot rule out an isolated tornado. So we're kind of getting into this period of seasonal change, which usually brings a round of severe weather. It's good news for us because we haven't really received much of that rain for the past couple of months because we've been seeing increasing drought conditions. And also we can't rule out some large hail there. That's a pretty low risk. This is the latest drought report that was released earlier this morning on October 23rd. We're now starting to see those moderate drought conditions now increasing and now including portions of Houston. Not really good news for us heading into looking for areas out towards the west, especially just west of Katy, Columbus, Brenham, looking at severe drought. So if we don't get enough rain, we could start seeing this severe drought creep closer towards the Houston area. I believe it's still too early to issue for any type of water restrictions or any type of extreme measures in terms of the drought situation, but they're still enduring some extreme to exceptional drought conditions out in San Antonio. So live look right now, this is this evening. Temperatures are going to be mostly pleasant. We're now starting to see that humidity once again return, but looking at our hourly planner, a rather quiet evening for today, Thursday night, but heading into Friday morning, I think we're going to see mostly a calm start to our morning. We did have a few of those downpours flare up earlier this afternoon that really just brought between 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain in some locations. We thought that this storm was going to just sort of stall over the Galleria area, but it fizzled out as we lost that daytime heating. But as you look at our future track, this is timing out when we were going to see more of the heavier rain chances. So Friday afternoon, starting around 2:30, can't rule out a few downpours on your way home to and from work or for those evening plans. I think Friday evening is going to be mostly quiet, but it's in the early hours of Saturday. That's when we're going to start feeling the full effects of this approaching cold front as storm potential is going to start increasing. Look at this large swath of rain and storms moving in from the west in the early hours of Saturday. To keep an eye on that time, 1:30 in the morning. By 2 and 3 p.m., that's when we could still see some of those downpours sweeping through Houston, bringing gusty winds, dangerous lightning, a pretty maybe likely a rather loud overnight period for us here across the Houston area, as we will be tracking those storms lasting at least until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have a bit of a break for much of the day and then expecting another round of storm potential for Saturday evening. So eventually could see another round of those downpours and storms as far as south as Galveston, even Freeport, Angleton. So I think Saturday is going to be one of those days that you just want to just stay inside and not deal with any of those outdoor plans or maybe those outdoor roadways that could become impacted in terms of minor flooding or just dangerously hazardous conditions in terms of that potential for this weekend. So also, like I said, check with those events or those events that are happening this weekend. I think Saturday is going to be a pretty messy day for all of us, especially across Southeast Texas and the Houston area. Might see a lingering shower into Sunday, but Sunday rain potential is going to be less than what we're expecting to see heading into the start of our next week. This is the flood risk for Saturday. This is from the Storm Prediction Center showing the risk for flooding. It's at a 4, we're at a 2 out of 4 scale. We're under a slight risk for flooding. That does include all of Southeast Texas. We very well could see between 2 and 4 inches of rainfall in some locations, because once this front moves closer towards Houston and the Gulf, it's going to want to slow down a bit. And that's when we really start seeing that rain just sort of stall over some areas, and that could really lead to minor flooding. I know we're talking about drought conditions, but it's when we get all of that rain in a little amount of time that really does impact our roadways. Just keep in mind, it only takes between 2 and 3 inches of rain to cause problem on our roadways here across the Houston area. And that's in one given time, and pretty heavy rain in one given time. So looking at our rain totals, Saturday morning, we could get up to maybe a quarter of an inch by Saturday morning, but then heading into Saturday afternoon, maybe between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. I know a lot of times you're seeing the models are showing that this rain between 3 and 4 inches in Ocampo and Bay City. I would take the location of that heaviest rainfall as a grain of salt. We very well could see that here across portions of the Houston area, and we all know those low-lying drainage areas, those low roadways, the underpasses that are usually problematic. You want to avoid those heading into the later hours of Saturday morning, especially into the early hours of Saturday afternoon. I think Saturday is going to be one of those days, just like I said, stay indoors and just wait out these storms, and maybe you can have a little bit of a gap throughout the day. And again, this is all associated with a low pressure system that's going to be sweeping through the central portions of the country. That front moving through, bringing storm potential, also with that rain chance, eventually bringing also another round of storms possible, especially heading into Tuesday. This next front on the way for Tuesday, it's going to be a stronger front. We may see some maybe some isolated storms for Tuesday, but this is the front that's going to eventually bring us finally those fall-like conditions as we head closer to Halloween. Eventually chilly conditions once again in the forecast. And I know we've been saying chilly conditions and the temperatures have only been in the low 60s, but I think we're actually going to see temperatures in the 50s heading into Halloween day. So make sure to plan those costumes accordingly if you are heading to those Halloween parties, especially for Friday, because we very well could see those overnight lows drop into the 50s, especially heading into Friday and into Saturday. These are the high temperatures. This is showing a little bit of a drop in temperatures with highs only getting up to low 70s, eventually bringing us the temperatures that we've been waiting for. So for your Halloween first look, highs are going to be in the low 70s, 40s and 50s at night, dry and cooler conditions. It's going to be fantastic for the end of next week. And so something to look forward to, especially as we head into the latter half of the week. The tropics are still active. We have Tropical Storm Melissa. Are you heading to the Caribbean? Did you book that last minute cruise to Jamaica or maybe Cuba or the Dominican Republic? They're going to be dealing with some impacts from this storm. This is Tropical Storm Melissa. It is expected to strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane. That is a pretty dangerous hurricane, and that likely could bring widespread rain potential to the Caribbean islands. Look at those rain accumulations between 18 inches of rain, close to 22 inches of rain out on the island of Hispaniola. This is actually Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This is the Dominican Republic, and as well as Cuba. Of course, 13 inches of rain. Jamaica likely to feel the full impacts of that hurricane with widespread rain potential for Montego Bay and Kingston. That will also, that's going to be lasting at least through this next week. So it's going to be a pretty rocky journey for the Caribbean islands, especially as we head into the next week, as many of the islands are going to be impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Well, it's now a tropical storm, but it will become Hurricane Melissa in the coming days. The thing to note here is that this storm is not moving much. It's these storms that stall out that could bring that widespread rainfall potential. Again, this is not heading towards the Yucatan Peninsula or Mexico. This is for the Caribbean near Jamaica and Dominican Republic across the Caribbean. As far as your 7-day forecast here across Houston, weather impact alert day for Saturday. That is going to bring us some widespread storms and showers as we cannot rule out some gusty winds. Make sure to secure those Halloween decorations. You might end up seeing those Halloween decorations down the street as we head into Saturday, because we could see some gusty winds between maybe 40 to 50 miles an hour with some of those storms. And that's going to also bring us that cold front that's going to bring some cooler conditions for Sunday and into Monday. Monday we're going to warm up just a bit, but then it's this secondary cold front for Tuesday that will eventually bring those fall-like conditions with those morning temperatures in the 50s for Wednesday and Thursday. So a bit of a roller coaster ride of weather conditions for the next 7 days, but it's going to be Saturday. That's going to be the day that we are going to see more of the heaviest rainfall from this next cold front that will be arriving here in the Houston area. And as always, we are going to be tracking the latest updates and giving you the latest updates. You can always find us on KHOU.com, as well as with these extended forecasts here on KHOU 11+. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Make sure to tune in later tonight at 10 p.m. for more weather and news updates.